Hey guys, Technomentor here with the video for you guys. In today's video, we're going to be comparing the iPhone SE 2020 edition with the iPhone 8 Plus. Here, as you can see in my hand, both of the phones are phenomenal, powerful devices, and we're going to break everything down in this video from the hardware to the software and overall performance between both of these phones in depth, if whether you guys are upgrading from one to another or comparing to buy either of the phone. We're going to break all of that down in this video. But before we go ahead and get started, if you guys are new to our channel and haven't subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We do a lot of tech news reviews and giveaways. Also, if you guys are in the market to buy a cheap iPhone, make sure you guys check out the link in the description section. So let's dive into today's review video for you guys. As you can see, the iPhone SE and the iPhone 8 Plus, of course, they're two different size phones. Because the Plus size or the bigger size phone, the iPhone SE or the regular size, that's why you have that big difference. So in terms of big difference, how much difference is it? Well, in terms of weight, if we look at it, the iPhone SE is around just a little over 5 ounces, where the iPhone 8 Plus is a little over 7 ounces, almost 2 ounce difference between the phone. You can almost feel it if you have, depending on what kind of hands you have. You see the iPhone SE for smaller hand might be better. If you have a bigger hand, the iPhone 8 Plus does help with having bigger hands because it's a bigger body phone. And the other thing we want to do is if you take a side-by-side comparison, you see that massive difference. And we're going to talk about, when we talk about the actual build of the screen, where that comes in play. Of course, the other noticeable difference you see right off the bat is the iPhone camera. The iPhone SE has one 12 megapixel camera versus the iPhone SE where you have that dual back camera, which helps in the camera space. We're going to talk a little bit more in depth about it. And both of the phones are built with a similar material. You have that aerospace grade aluminum body to it. As you see here, both of them on the side as well has that matte rounded side as well, and the charge port, and this side as well. So the sidewise, they both have about similar builds, so the body itself is about the same. The one thing you notice, the iPhone SE 2020 edition, a lot of analysts have mentioned that it might be just a rebuild of the iPhone 8, which the iPhone 8, as you know, is the smaller size of the 8 Plus. So in a way, you're comparing almost the smaller size with the bigger size phone here between these two phones. And that's where we're going to really talk about between these two phones. Is the other aspect of these phones is that a lot of similarities in it. The iPhone SE brought back that home button that Apple started to remove starting with the iPhone 10. And that's one thing that a lot of people wish they had now. And both of the phones does have that Touch ID Fingerprint Reader on it. The one thing we're going to notice, because the iPhone 8 Plus does have a bigger body to it, it has a bigger display just because of the massive size. You have this sort of bigger display to it. And what kind of display does that make? What difference does that make? Well, that 4.7 versus that 5.5 display. Because this does have a bigger display, it does have better pixel resolution. The iPhone 8 Plus has 1920 by 1080 pixel resolution at 401 ppi versus the iPhone SE, which has 1334 by 750 pixel resolution at 326. And that's come to the next point around contrast ratio. You have the iPhone SE, which comes in around 1400 to 1 contrast ratio, with the iPhone 8 Plus has 1300 to 1 contrast ratio. Not much really difference between it. And the last piece we want to talk about, the display, is actually between these two devices is the max in it. Both of them have sports around 625 max in it to it. And the last aspect we want to talk about between these two phones are its hardware of the chip that they both of these run. So they run slightly different chip. The iPhone 8 has A11 chip versus the iPhone SE, which has A13 chip, which Apple, when it released it, advertises as the fastest chip on any smart device. So you're going to notice a little bit faster CPU power to the iPhone SE, which we've seen in some of the videos. Usually it's something you notice when you do a lot of gaming, and some of the tests we run, such as Antutu benchmark and Geekbench, things like that, we notice such similarities. One thing we want to talk about is the battery life of these phones. So because the iPhone 8 Plus does have a bigger body, it does have a bigger battery size to it compared to the 1800 mAh on the iPhone SE. But what can you expect in terms of the battery life between it? Well, to really talk about battery life, one thing we want to talk about is the actual video playback. So the iPhone SE does have better video playback. It has 14 hour. It has about the same. iPhone 8 Plus actually has 14 hour versus the iPhone SE, which has 13 hour. 1 hour difference. Are you gonna notice much difference between it? Well, if you're a light to medium user, both phones on a full charge will get you throughout the day. If you're using it for basic calling or texting, you won't have any issue between both of these devices. They're both good to go. And the next aspect we want to talk about between these two phones is camera. So what kind of camera build do you have between it? As we saw, the iPhone 8 Plus does have that dual camera on the back versus the iPhone SE, which has one. And that allows you to really go into that telephoto optical zoom. So you have 2x zoom versus which the iPhone SE doesn't have. In terms of portrait mode, that's another thing you'll notice. Both of the phones does have about similar sort of lighting. The one thing you're missing on the portrait mode is that the iPhone SE does a little bit better job. It does have that high key light mono, which isn't available on the iPhone 8 Plus. And then next aspect we're going to talk about video recording. Both of the phones does a phenomenal job in terms of video recording. They go all the way from 720 pixel all the way to 4K at 60 frames per second. So video, both of them does phenomenal job in terms of recording the video. And let's move on to the final part about both of these phones, which is your social media and iOS updates on these phones. Both of the phones, as you can see, we are able to update both of these phones to iOS 14. And because we were able to update to iOS 14, we saw that when you do a lot of testing with both of the phones, they are doing really well in terms of update when we updated to iOS 14. If you guys haven't checked out the iOS 14 update, make sure you guys check that out. Both of the phones we see on a side by side. If you're using it for entertainment purposes, one thing we do want to note is that watching shows and such on the iPhone 8 Plus is better because of that bigger 5.5 display compared to that 4.7. You get that better experience out of that display itself. Nonetheless, both of the phones, when it comes to iOS update, they're probably going to be supported. Well, the iPhone 8 Plus is going to be supported maybe another year or two, where the iPhone SE is going to be supported for at least another 3 to 4 years. So if you're looking for a phone possibly that will outlast the iPhone 8 Plus, you have your iPhone SE, lighter, smaller phone that will get more years out of it than the iPhone SE. Although the iOS major update will stop, a lot of the apps will most likely still be supported on both of the phones, no issues whatsoever on it. But if you're really looking for a phone that will go further, get the most out of your buck, you might be looking at the iPhone SE. Or if you're looking for a bigger display, the iPhone 8 Plus might be your phone to go to. So there you guys have it for a comparison between the phone, the iPhone SE, smaller but powerful phone with the smaller display. iPhone 8, also powerful, similar camera build, but the iOS update are coming towards the end. Although you can get the 8 Plus probably the half the price that you can get the iPhone SE, and it's a phone that you might consider those possibilities. Hopefully this video is helpful. If this video is helpful, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Also, we want to hear from you guys between these two devices. What do you guys think about the builds of both of these phones? Which one do you like? And if you guys are using one of the phones or the other phones, leave a comment in the comment section. Want to hear what you guys have to say. Thanks for watching, guys. See you guys next time.